Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have Chris Dearborn, Managing Director on Nasdaq's Market Intelligence Desk, for a review on technical levels to watch in the Nasdaq 100 index and what's been an interesting session of trading. I mean, Chris, really the past week, couple of weeks, if you want to factor in what's happening with the Fed and inflation, but certainly with what we've seen with the banks or with Silicon Valley Bank. I mean, the futures opened higher only to sell off tens of handles. Now we're up 1% on the Nasdaq 100.
Right. It's been a crazy move. Uncertainty does bring that into the market. Uncertainty does bring wild moves. If you want to look at the VIX as an example, you've got a 7-handle move in the VIX today alone, and we're trading right now at about 25-handle, which is at the low end of the range, but we topped over 30 in the VIX. You know, the NDX is up actually about 1.7% now, rallying into the close. We'll see if we hold these numbers above 12,000. But still, you know, it creates, again, the NDX does not handle any financials. So not that it's immune from the broader market cycle, but on a specific basis, it doesn't take into effect any of what's going on specific to the banking sector, regardless of how large or small the regional banks are. So insular to a point, but still connected to the entire market.
Right, of course. And then, you know, there's so much activity that took place at SVB when it comes to private equity, and certainly the VC space. You have to think about, you know, potentially some of those companies can become Nasdaq listed companies. So what does it mean for that overall environment? But I would also argue, Chris, that the tech space has rallied a bit, thinking that either the Fed won't hike or it won't go the full 50 basis points. I'm sure we're seeing some recovery there. So let's take a look at your chart here. What levels are you going to be watching?
Right. So just quick on that part, right? We're looking at a 75% chance of a quarter-point base hike, 25% chance of no hike at all at the March meeting. You know, and that's kind of crazy considering you have CPI coming out tomorrow, PPI and retail sales the day after, and throw on to another volatile day. You've got the quad witch coming up on, or triple witch now, that you got coming up on Friday. So again, high volume days with potential for significant moves in the markets that'll absolutely impact this index. So what's nice about today's index and looking at the chart is that you got an engulfing candle from Friday's move to the positive side. You know, the index opened at 11,750. We're trading at about 12,025 right now. Very nice movement price action wise. We've also regained a major resistance level that's now support. The 50 and 200 day are trading almost in sync at 11,910, and that's become a nice support level right now. We need to see it trying to consolidate above that to really get positive on this chart. But the trading range really is 11,900, 12,283. Support at the 11,910 mark is significant. We'll see if that holds. If it doesn't, it will move to 11,600 is warranted. On the resistance side, it's very tight, 12,075, 12,190 before you get to that Fibonacci retracement level that we mentioned last week at 38.2, which is 12,283. So it's a very tight range. A lot of news in the next couple of days to make that move kind of happen. And, you know, we'll see what the Fed has to say in a couple of weeks. But again, CPI, PPI, retail sales, and of course the option of futures expiration on Friday.
And finally, your last chart here, the constituents that were leading the way in the index.
Right. So there's a lot of news out there, obviously, away from the banking sector. You've got a lot of M&A out there, plus a little activism. So when you look at it, you've got CGen, Illumina, all up nicely over 15% leading the way. Moderna's having a nice day as well. But if you flip, like you said before, Jill, to the tech side of it, the big boys, Amazon, Microsoft, are all up over 3%. That alone is adding 70 points to the index. On the detractors, it's only 20 names, really not anything point-wise that's going to add to it. Again, 80-20 the breadth, positive.
All right. Appreciate the insight as always, Chris. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.